Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear brothers and sisters. Today we are going to have a look at the black stone at the Kaaba and what 8 scientists have researched and discovered about it. Let's have a look.
Friends of Islam, this time Islamic circles are back in front of you to share Islamic information, hopefully inspiring your activities today. And don't forget to click the subscribe button and activate the bell button notification, so as not to miss the latest news from the Islamic Circles channel. Hajar Aswad is a sacred stone located in the eastern corner of the cube-shaped building known as the Kaaba. The stone has a long history and is an object of admiration for scholars around the world. The Hajar Aswad stone has also invited debate and speculation about its origins for centuries. Secular historians claim that the Hajar Aswad is a stone that fell from outer space.
The original origin of the black stone is actually it's a stone from paradise, from Jannah, and it was brought down by angels. That's the origin. But yeah, scientists are saying, oh, this may be from out of space and this and that.
Meanwhile, many geologists around the world have tried to study the type and nature of this stone in an attempt to find out more about the scientific nature of Hajar Aswad. Some of the world's leading researchers have also conducted in-depth studies to research the origin of the Hajar Aswad stone. Well, in this video, we will explore the scientific studies that researchers have conducted in search of answers about the mysterious origins of this stone, so that we can gain a deeper understanding of this phenomenon, as the Hajar Aswad stone continues to be a mystery to this day. Here's the video. Hajar Aswad has a rich history and myths, making it a very important stone in the development of Islam, from the time of Prophet Abraham to the time of Prophet Muhammad. Hajar Aswad is believed to be a stone from heaven that was brought by Prophet Adam when he descended to earth.
Yes.
Over time, the Hajar Aswad stone deteriorated and was broken into several pieces in medieval times. However, the pieces of the black stone were later put back together and inserted into a silver frame fastened to a stone.
Yeah, it used to be much bigger. It wasn't that small, but over time some parts broke out and from all the touching and stuff. Now it is also protected in something because you need to protect it. If you don't protect it, it will get smaller and smaller and it will disappear at some point. It would only be dust basically.
Historically, the Hajar Aswad stone has undergone color changes. According to a hadith of the Prophet Muhammad, he said, "A black stone came down from heaven, and it was whiter than milk, but the sins of the sons of Adam turned it black."
Yes.
In this understanding, the black color of Hajar Aswad is believed to be a reflection of the sins of mankind.
It is.
The government of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has even released a 49,000 megapixel high-resolution photograph of the Hajar Aswad. This photo allows anyone to clearly see every detail of this sacred stone. Inside the Grand Mosque, there are 8 clusters.
You know, it's like interesting here when you look at it, you see some spots are more white, right? You see this? So you can see that it is not the original color, it used to be white. You see that? Oh, it's like a lighter gray, right? It's not like really white, but you can see that there was some white in it in the past. This is actually very good. Like, it's good that we see this detailed image. But yeah, you can see some parts are darker, and then you have like those parts that you can see, oh, this used to be white. It was like white like milk, right? Like when the angels brought it down, it was white.
Aswad. This photo allows anyone to clearly see every detail of this sacred stone. Inside the Grand Mosque, there are 8 clusters of Hajar Aswad, which are attached to a larger stone and framed by silver. But there are also other fragments of Hajar Aswad claimed to be in Istanbul, Turkey. One of them is in the Süleymaniye Grand Mosque.
Really?
In addition to these 2 places, it turns out that other fragments of Hajar Aswad are in one of the museums in England. Why are the fragments of Hajar Aswad in England? Here are the facts. The process of taking the chunks began when some scientists read the news about the virtues and wonders of the Hajar Aswad stone. In the UK, there are 3 fragments of Hajar Aswad, which are kept for research purposes. As a very special stone and sacred to Muslims, the Hajar Aswad stone has always attracted public interest, especially researchers in the field of geology. Over time, various experts have conducted research to seek a deeper understanding of the physical characteristics of the Hajar Aswad stone. They also wanted to understand the geological processes that may have been involved in the formation of this stone. Of course, among researchers, there are many different views and opinions about Hajar Aswad. One of the researchers, Richard Burton, finally pronounced the creed after doing extensive research on the stone. In the research on the origin of the Hajar Aswad stone, one of the hypotheses proposed was that the stone came from a meteorite. This view was based on a catalog of meteorites compiled by G.T. Pryor, who categorized the Hajar Aswad stone as an aerolite or siderite, a type of meteorite rich in iron and silicates. Pryor argues that the Hajar Aswad stone is an aerolite meteorite, a meteorite that is more like an ordinary stone and is not dominated by iron and nickel, as is the case with meteorites that we commonly know. Anthony Hampton and a team of geologists from the University of Oxford also studied the local chili sauce collected from where the Hajar Aswad stone is located. They found rare amounts of iridium and cone fragments in the samples.
Wow.
The rare geological find.
Yeah, it's like crazy when I just look at this and how many minerals and things exist that we barely know about, like iridium. Like how many of you actually knew about the existence of iridium, right? There's so many minerals and things that we in like daily life maybe encounter in certain products. Like even if you look at like cell phones, I once watched a documentary of like the cell phone, right? And even if you look at the chips and some of the components, there are also certain minerals and things that you don't know about, like even like computers, like they have a bit of golds and stuff as well, right? So it's actually fascinating because we use a lot of the stuff also for daily life that we don't know about. I have no clue in what is iridium in, but I often hear like we have these and these sort of minerals in cameras, in TVs, in computers, in phones, and I'm just like, wow, I didn't know that. Like how many components are in it? Like what sort of minerals? Wait, what? This has silver, this has gold, there's copper, there's this, there is magnesium, there's this. Like what?
Ounce of iridium and cone fragments in the samples.
Subhanallah.
The rare geological find, which is known to have formed in the bedrock beneath a meteorite impact crater, was discovered by Paul Parch, a curator of mineral stones during the Austrian-Hungarian Empire, who published the first comprehensive report on black stone in 1857, in which he suspected that the Hajar Aswad stone was a fragment of a meteorite that fragmented about 6,000 years ago. However, this hypothesis has been the subject of tremendous debate, as there are discoveries that state that the Hajar Aswad stone has the property of floating in water. This is contrary to the characteristics of meteorites in general, which have a high density.
Because it's from paradise, not from space.
In 950, the governor of Mecca, Abdullah ibn Makim, tested the stones suspected to be the Hajar Aswad stones, stolen by the Ismailiya Karamitha sect 22 years earlier, and found that they could indeed float in water. This finding shattered the view that Hajar Aswad was a meteorite. In addition, all scientists have not found meteorite rocks with the same characteristics as the Hajar Aswad stone, so this stone cannot be definitely attributed to a meteorite.
You see?
Nonetheless, this hypothesis remains one of the viewpoints in the research on the Hajar Aswad stone. And researchers continue to study the properties and characteristics of the stone to gain a clearer understanding of its origin.
Let me guess, because they couldn't identify what the stone is or meteorite, that's why they converted to Islam, right? Like, oh, that stone, you know what? We have tested it, we have analyzed it with all the meteorites we collected in this earth and nothing actually matches. Why is this one so different from the other meteorites? Could this really be from heaven? Really? And then maybe they became curious about Islam, so this led to them reading the Quran and then they accepted Islam. Maybe that's the story.
Another hypothesis that has been proposed in research on the origin of the Hajar Aswad stone is that it is a volcanic rock, specifically pumice. These rocks are formed from volcanic
No, they don't
eruptions
float
that
in
produce
water,
magma
right?
with a composition rich in silicon, CO2, or acid igneous rocks. Acid igneous rocks are generally light or bright in color as opposed to dark, wet igneous rocks. A study conducted by the United States Geological Survey said Hajar Aswad is probably obsidian from a lava flow common in one of the Harat or volcanic fields found on the western Arabian coast. Meanwhile, researchers Robert S. Dietz and John McCone from the Department of Geology at the University of Illinois in the United States said Hajar Aswad is not derived from meteorite rock, but is a ringstone, which is one of the minerals formed in the earth.
Wow.
He said, diffusion band.
This is so crazy. Everyone has a different theory. This is from volcano. No, this is a meteorite. No, this is a ringstone or something. Wait, what? So what is it? Like, everyone has a different. Let me guess. And now he's claiming this was from the ring, a ringstone from a giant, because back in the day people used to be giants, right? It's actually, that's interesting, because actually Adam alayhi salam used to be really like tall. He used to be a giant, like literally, right? Like the first human beings on this planet were really large. They were really tall, and over generation they became smaller. So yeah, maybe that's the next claim here. Let's see. So far we had like interesting claims here by scientists, and they are all false and they can't be proven. They're just theories. There's no proof.
And other physical appearances indicate
we know
that
where
it
it's
is
from.
agate.
It's from paradise.
In this context, some scientists note that the Hajar Aswad stone has similarities with pumice. Pumice rock generally has a light or bright color and is mostly composed of pores that result in a very low density, less than 1 gram per cc.
And it floats too.
This phenomenon is in line with reports that the Hajar Aswad stone can float in water. Pumice stones are generally formed in violent explosive eruptions with an eruption scale equal to or greater than 5 volts, one of the characteristics of which is to produce a
Are they
caldera.
not afraid?
Such volcanoes are common in Indonesia.
I don't get it. Like, how can people... There's a volcano eruption here, and they're standing so close by, and you see how that stuff is like being shut out? Like, what if it falls on their head? What if one time the eruption is a bit strong? Why are they standing around it? Are they crazy? Why? I would not come close to that.
Equal to or greater than 5 volts.
Subhanallah.
One of the characteristics of which is to produce a caldera.
How close?
Such volcanoes are common in Indonesia, so it is not surprising that pumice appeared in the 1883 Krakatau eruption or the 1815 Tambora eruption.
Gunung Tambora.
However, there are challenges in attributing the Hajar Aswad to pumice in the context of the geology of the Arabian Peninsula. Volcanism in the area generally produces wet igneous rocks, not acidic igneous rocks that produce pumice. Volcanoes in the Arabian Peninsula fall under the category of basaltic volcanoes, which produce dilute basaltic magma and tend to form wide volcanoes with low conical peaks.
Okay.
In this context,
makes sense.
It is difficult to find a connection between the Hajar Aswad stone and the volcanic rocks of the Arabian Peninsula. Although calderas are found in some areas, such as Jebel Salma, these calderas were formed about 580 million years ago, and they are too old to have produced pumice.
Yeah.
Thus, the possibility that the Hajar Aswad stone is a ring stone, or even a volcanic rock, becomes less supportive in this study.
Yeah, there's a contradiction here,
Volcanism in the Arabian Peninsula did not produce significant pumice, and there is no evidence to support the existence of explosive eruptions on a scale large enough to form pumice like the Hajar Aswad stone. Therefore, although the volcanic rock hypothesis has been proposed to link Hajar Aswad to pumice in the geological context of the Arabian Peninsula, it is still...
I see where they are actually coming from. It comes like volcano, right? Because you see volcano, okay, and then you imagine all the stones that come from there must be black or something, right? But... Yeah, if you look at the geographic also thing, like they're not like there are some mountains. I'm not saying there are no mountains in Saudi Arabia, but nothing has like such height, or where the eruption can have such a level like some other places with like a lot of rocks and mountains and stuff, right? So geographically, yeah, unless it was imported from very far and then brought to Saudi Arabia from another place, right? But like I said, we Muslims have the answer because it's being explained to us, because this one comes from paradise. It was brought to this earth.
Therefore, although the volcanic rock hypothesis has been proposed to link Hajar Aswad to pumice in the geological context of the Arabian Peninsula, it is still difficult to confirm. Further research is needed to better understand the origin and physical characteristics of this sacred stone. Some scientists say it is the oldest rock in the world, although it is not known exactly how old it is. In general, scientists can determine the age of rocks through carbonization and lead techniques for fossils, the age of the subsoil, and other related matters. But
actually, it's crazy how far science have gotten with like determining aging and stuff. Like, even if they discover fossils, they can actually, by just having like a little bit of it and crack it away and analyze it, they can determine how old a certain fossil is, right? Or if you find, for example, like even when it comes to autopsy, right? Like someone has been missing and then they discover the body or something, right? They can actually determine like how old this body is of someone, like the bones, for example, right? Or they can look at like old cities somewhere in Egypt or somewhere, then they take a piece of stone from the wall of a ruin they dug out, right? Like it was maybe under the sand some ruin, then they take a small piece of stone, and from this small piece of stone they can say how old this city was. Like, science has really advanced a lot when it comes to this. Like, it's insane, subhanallah.
And other related matters. But in fact, there is no parameter that can explain how old the Hajar Aswad stone is. Another fact is that no one has ever found a rock like the Hajar Aswad stone.
Yeah, it's nothing to compare.
So it can be concluded that this rock is not from the earth, but also not a fragment of a meteor rock. This is because its density is very different from that of any other rock in the universe.
Yeah.
In an effort to find a better answer about the origin of the Hajar Aswad stone, another hypothesis emerged, stating that this rock may be a type of impactite. Impactite is a rock formed by the collision of celestial bodies at very high speeds and with enormous energy. A Swedish geologist and paleontologist named Elisabeth Thomsen from the University of Copenhagen expressed her views on Hajar Aswad. Thomsen emphatically stated that Hajar Aswad is not a meteorite, but an impactite. On the mainland of Saudi Arabia, the product of the impact, more commonly called impactite, can be found at the location of the Walbar meteor crater, about 550 kilometers southeast of the city of Riyadh. He explained, the Walbar structure, where rocks similar to Hajar Aswad are found, generally consists of white glass blocks containing silicon. Some parts even have blackish sheets. Thomsen's theory is quite interesting, as it matches the description in a hadith that describes Hajar Aswad as a stone whiter than milk. The impactite has a hollow structure, which can cause gas to be trapped inside the rock, allowing it to float in water. This is consistent with experiments showing the floating properties of the Hajar Aswad stone. However, upon further analysis, Thomsen's hypothesis was disproved by the finding that the Weber structure was formed in 1704, just a few centuries ago. This is much younger than the mass construction of the Kaaba, which took place about 40 centuries ago. Therefore, it is difficult to associate Hajar Aswad with the Wilbur structure.
Because it happened so much later.
It can thus be concluded that the Hajar Aswad stone is neither a meteorite, nor a volcanic stone, nor an impactite.
You guys see how they are kissing the black stone, so where does this originate from? Because someone asked me the other day in the comment section. So there's an authentic hadith where Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu actually said about the black stone, "You're just a stone. You will neither benefit nor harm me. If I would not have seen our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam kiss the stone, I would have not kissed you or touched you." So there's a hadith about this, right? But even Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu says that this is just a stone. It doesn't bring any benefit nor harm. So some people are claiming that we Muslims, we worship the black stone or we worship the Kaaba. This is wrong. There's even a hadith where our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says about the Kaaba that the life of a Muslim is more sacred and more important than the Kaaba. That means if the Kaaba is destroyed, it's far less worse than if the life of an innocent Muslim is being taken, for example, right? So we Muslims, we don't worship the black stone, and we don't worship the Kaaba. And I just quoted some hadiths proving this. So if there are any misunderstandings, I hope I made them clear now for the non-Muslims or Christians watching this. So yeah.
Thus be concluded that the Hajar Aswad stone is neither a meteorite, nor a volcanic stone, nor an impactite. Although several studies have been conducted, the mystery of the origin of Hajar Aswad still remains an interesting topic of research.
For sure.
However, what is clear is that Hajar Aswad is a stone that has sacred value in Islam.
Yes.
Prophet Muhammad himself honored the stone by kissing it.
Just
this shows
appreciation.
how important it is to respect the religious values represented by the Hajar Aswad stone. In the confusion and uncertainty of science, it is very important for Muslims to maintain the honor and privilege of the Hajar Aswad stone. Hajar Aswad remains a symbol of piety, purity, and obedience in the spiritual journey of Muslims. Hopefully, this video can be useful for all of us. Thank you.
Let me give this one a thumbs up. That was very good. But you see, those scientists... But which is the scientist that converted? Did we miss this one? Huh? Who converted? Was it that women at the end? Okay, one scientist finally converted, but who is the scientist that converted? Did I miss this one? Was it Elsbeth Thompson? Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, this is the thing, like, where's the black stone coming from? So we in Islam, we are being taught that this comes from paradise and that an angel brought it down, right? But a lot of scientists have tried to prove that this is from this universe, from somewhere, maybe a meteorite or something, or maybe it's something that is from this planet, like from a volcano. But as you guys saw, none of those scientists could prove that this to be true. There were a lot of contradictions, right? Like for the impactite, when this happened with the meteorites crashing there, it happened at a later time than this, when that stone first existed, right? Then could it be from a volcano? No, because it doesn't... there were no volcanoes nearby that could produce this, and even if, then the pattern of the mineral or the stone itself is totally different than from what you get from a volcano, right? So there are a lot of contradictions and issues when it comes to comparing it with other minerals or stones, right? Because it's not matching. Some have the attribute it cannot float, but it can float, right? Others, they are different in structure, just like it was also shown there. Others have some historical problem because the stone existed before this event happened, so it could not be from that, right? So this is very fascinating when you analyze it and look at it. But yeah, I love actually checking out such videos with like some historical evidence or something scientific about Islam, because that's also, you can also view this black stone as one of the miracles of Islam, right? Because even till this day, we have like lots of miracles we can find in Islam, from the stone to the Quran, right? If we analyze the Zamzam water, because there are some scientists that are also analyzing now the Zamzam water, and they found some unique properties inside the Zamzam water and how it's different from regular water. So you still have like some lasting miracles of Islam, like the Zamzam water and Blackstone that can be found today, and a few individuals have also accepted Islam because of those miracles. So yeah, Allahu Akbar, this is very fascinating. And yeah, if you guys are new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content. If you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give this one a thumbs up. And I will see you guys next time, inshallah.